Facebook, and I'm gonna share on Facebook.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sena. We are live. Uh,
Yes, they are
happy
trying.
Wednesday. It's a hump
Well,
day.
it's a wonderful day, so I'm just trying to share us and then my page.
Okay, good.
Okay, now we're in.
Good.
Okay, good morning, team. Welcome. It's a great to have you. And last week was really nice. We'll hopefully we'll have a very soon back. But we have lots of things to cover from the sanction or the visa restriction to the brand new July, the general saying that they've asked Eritrea to withdraw. To last Friday we had a big event where former ambassador had came in. He was our host. To current Swedish member of parliament, Mr. Thomas, and the Oromo Opposition Party, the Central Committee of ONLF, Tigray Community Chair. I think I forgot the name of the organization. Command as I think we had that, and we also have a few other things on agenda, I believe, too, right? And then about the upcoming hearing from
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. We do have several.
Yep.
Before we go into any of those, Sena, first I want to say that discussion on Friday was very timely. Distinguished guests were present, presenters. And I believe that clip is or that program is available for everybody to view on YouTube. I don't know if our engineers are in the back. Please put a link where we can see where people can go and listen to that amazing discussion on YouTube. It's called the Ethiopia Crossroads election number 6. I think that's what it's called.
Yep. Yep.
I encourage everybody to go and check that out. And it's also shared on Ollaa page on Facebook, I'm sure. And we have to cover these topics very quickly because, as I understand, Sena, you'll be appearing on CNN discussing some of this similar topics. Am I right?
That is correct, T. I'm supposed to be appearing on CNN this morning in a few hours, so we do have a lot of good things coming up. So what I would say is, thank you. What I would say is that before we get into the agenda, I wanted to say we have about 69 people watching us. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. I want to urge you, and I hope you have already signed up to our email address. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure to leave us your comments. This is a program that to those who would like to know what's happening within Oromo community, both in diaspora and back home, as well as our Oromo friends that just care about human rights. It is so often that the Oromos are half of Ethiopian population. They are oppressed for the last 100 years under Naftanya system and previously under TPLF for 27 years. Oromo just nobody have ever been held for justice Oromo. So this is a very important that there cannot be selective justice when one group with justice and the other group doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't. That we hope that these viewers, since we have Oromos and non-Oromos, that that it's that we don't feel like we've been heard, and we are very happy about section that which we'll talk about it. That but moving forward, we'll be changing a tactic and. So we want a fair and free Africa for everybody, where Oromos feel they belong in there, where everybody, Amharas, Tigris, everybody feels and lives and safe. With that in mind, please make sure that you leave us your comment, follow us. And we have lots of information, including a template that you can use to make a phone call on the recent event on Ollaa.org. On Ollaa.org, you will find anything from A to Z about Oromo. And this is both for Oromos and non-Oromos. Let's say you wanted to call your congressman, or let's say you wanted to call you from Australia, you wanted to call your member of parliament to ask him like, hey, could you say something about Oromo? Then you just have to go on Ollaa. Ollaa is our main office. We invested thousands of dollars on it. Lots of people work on that website to make it convenient, easy, and accessible, everything that you can think of. So we really hope that you are checking out the website and getting all the template that you need to make phone call. We're very happy. Obviously, we're going to talk about the restriction, but there's still a lot of part that's missing about Oromo. There is no selective justice. There will never be peace in Ethiopia without answering the Oromo question. And we will make sure that you have to make it happen. We have to make it happen. It doesn't happen. So I urge you guys to please talk about your business. Talk about what matters to you. We stand 100%, with our Tagaru community, Tagaru people, and I'll be committed ethnic cleansing against that, along with Amhara regional government. But our cause is forgotten, our cause is neglected, so it upsets us. So we are going to change it here. But anyway, T. So since I've said that, and obviously uh, let me say a few things before I turn it over for you to take the second topic, since you already mentioned about the event we had Friday. So Friday we had a very timely event. It was aired yesterday on Ollaa Facebook, Ollaa YouTube. It was aired yesterday. Over 400, I believe I was told 435 people registered for that event. About 502 viewed. I think when I checked it on Friday night or Saturday, about 500 people viewed it. It wasn't public, it was a private event. We just aired it. We are so honored to have Mr. Former Assistant Secretary of Africa Affairs, Mr. Cohen, and he was an ambassador who knows Ethiopia in and out, who have worked with two different kind of regime. And then also we have the Central Committee member from ONLF. We have obviously the OFC, that after the conversation was ended, obviously the current member of parliament from Swedish government, whom is talking about Oromo to European government. Mr. Cohen, as he say, our discussion on Ollaa platform is we, take it, summarize it, and send it to different organization, different government officials. These are what the Oromos are saying. These are what the Oromo opposition is saying. These are what the ONLF is saying. This is what the Tagaru community, these are what command committees are saying. So it is really important that you guys watch that video, leave us your comment, make sure you share it, make sure that we want a lot of people to know that this election is a sham election. And I want to just personally, I was very satisfied with the conversation. It was the summary was that that the country needs a national dialogue, and that is not from Oromos, that's not from just exclusively from Tigray community, is more from across the country. I think even Amharas are saying right now they need, but the Naftanyas are a different story. The Naftanyas are totally against dialogue because they feel like this is the perfect time for them to come back to power. Those are the Izemas, those are the Abin and all of those party radicals, and I don't think they want national dialogue. But as a Roman, we really think for the sake of the country and everybody, that's the only way forward. I see comments here, and I'll give you a chance. Dula, thank you so much. And everybody, I guess, Jaffarsa and everybody, continue posting your question. Make your question very short. That way we can answer it. T, that was my take on the election, on the event that happened on Friday. That 400 people registered for it, over 400, and 500 was the amount of view we got. And then so we just aired it yesterday, and I haven't seen exactly the viewers number. But let me stop here, and let's why don't you give us your 2 cents, and also we can jump to the next topic as well.
Perfect, Sena. Thank you for that. Beautifully well said. Now, I want people to follow us. That's great. Engage with us with comments, questions, suggestions. But I want you to take one step farther, right, and become Ollaa members and support everything that Ollaa is doing. So go to ollaa.org and you'll find how to support Ollaa efforts. And as you've seen, I'm sure you guys are following some tweets from some prominent members in the U.S. offices, and also some videos, as you guys have seen. Some key people and senators and congresswomen are saying and speaking highly of the work that Ollaa has been doing, and of course our amazing leaders are doing. So make sure you support that effort. Now that I have that out of the way, yes, you correctly said it, Sena. Most of the guests that were speaking, they were talking about all-inclusive national dialogue that is necessary for the country to move forward in the right direction. Now, this national dialogue, they're not just coming to this discussion forums to talk about them. This is something they've been asking, they've been requesting of the current administration to make it possible for everybody to come to a table and have this national dialogue. But this administration has refused. I mean, Dr. Marara Godina said when COVID hit, it was a blessing in disguise because we had this time to kind of offer our suggestions and recommendations of how we want the national dialogue to go. We gave them pages after pages of recommendations that the current administration just chose to ignore. And there's been a lot of calls for this national dialogue and has been happening. And it was very stubborn administration is trying to stifle voices uh, and their misguided agenda. They wanted to drive their misguided agenda. So that's a very sad case, but that's something very clear. And everybody at the discussion and everywhere you hear, that's a very critical point. And the second point that I want to make is the Abiy administration has been trying very hard since November to pass these various attacks on different ethnic groups as a law enforcement operation, when in fact we know that's not true. Mainly because if this is a law enforcement operation in Tigray, then why are the Tigrayan people inside of Finfinne or Addis Ababa are under attack? Why are they getting fired from their jobs? If this is a law enforcement operation in Oromia, why are people that have nothing to do or not even in the area that are just living their life are being attacked and discriminated against just because of their identity? So we know this is not. It's clear this is not a law enforcement operation. This is anti-peace agents in the government working, and the government itself being a champion of anti-peace movements after receiving a Nobel Peace Prize for. I mean, this is very ridiculous turn of events that we witnesses with our eyes. It's very sad, and some of the things that stood out for me, Sena, and it will be the last thing I'll say. There's a lot of them that stood out to me. Is the government is not a peacekeeper, but the main agitator in all conflicts in Ethiopia, and that's what I will say, Sena, and I'll hand it over to you. This is, to me, I want you to add a couple of things. I mean, Dr. Amana talked about how the extrajudicial killings has to stop. I mean, this is no brainer, to be honest.
Thank you, T. I think I agree with you. That conversation, that's why that summary will go to different offices, and hundreds of people have participated. And I don't know, for the sake of time, I'll leave it there. We have about 18 minutes. I want to jump really just an announcement, and we'll come back and talk about the hearing, because I want us to take at least 15, 20 minutes, talk about about the visa restriction. What does it mean? Who's on the list? And where the Biden administration is going, and what is in the store for Oromo people. So that's the thing that I want to kind of talk about it. But I would just say that the second one is tomorrow. I'll say this, and then you can talk, and then maybe there's two urgent topics that I wanted to say, T, and then I want us to focus the other times talking about current affairs, what's really happening. The first one is tomorrow there's a hearing, obviously. And on Monday last week, the special envoy came back from Ethiopia. There was a closed testimony to the senators, and so I mean Saturday, last Saturday, the U.S. Government, obviously made statement. There's going to be a visa restriction, far-reaching visa restriction, not just about the family. Let me actually, I'm jumping on that. But anyway, so there was a hearing on Monday last week, and now it's going to be public hearing tomorrow. That we have been talking about the issues that affecting not just Tigray, but also especially Oromia. That was the Abiy's number one target. That we expect this hearing to be more inclusive. That 3 weeks ago, five senators sent a letter to the special envoy urging him to look into the issue outside of Tigray. And there is, a mass arrest, killing, extrajudiciary killing in Oromia, especially in Oromia, obviously in a Wallo special zone of Oromia special zone in Amara region, Benishangul Gumuz area. There was also a fight between Afar and Somalia region. So the special envoy was asked to really look into. So on this hearing, that we expect that they're going to be obviously still focused about humanitarian crisis in Tigray, but we're hoping to hear that they're going to be encompassing other issues that's affecting and will most likely destabilize. I mean, I believe Tigray accounts to about 6% of the Ethiopian population. Oromia accounts to at least 60% of the Ethiopian population. And without really trying to answer that question, there will never be peace, there will never be stability. So I think it is very important this hearing that they must be in like the bigger issue also need to be included. What Abiy is doing obviously is the ethnic cleansing, and we hope based on the Biden's decision that they got the memo. I feel like they got the memo. The fact that the General Brahanu Jula came out and asked Eritrea to withdraw. This is the first time they have done it in 6 months. And the US have been saying to withdraw. So I think they got the message, the statement that came out from the State Department sent very loud and clear message, and not just to those people directly involved in it, but even those people indirectly involved in it, including such a family member who, a lot of Ethiopian leaders, just like typical African leaders, Abiy's family was here taking support from the U.S. government. All of them had their family here in America, and then they're letting the poor people die and kill each other over there. So I'm hopeful this hearing will be the case based on obviously our conversation that we have, and let's see. I don't want to give too much into. With that, I'll say on that hearing, and I also will say something on the July 10th rally, and then we'll come back to the race one. You'll take over our team. So obviously, last week I was on a Kadiro show along with Yaron Gacy to talk about the necessity of rally. So that rally is determined, I believe, for July 10th. So what's going to be different about this rally is several things. First and foremost, it won't be a typical rally that where you just come, meet there, and then you walk and disperse. We are planning very, very strategically that there's going to be a program, what you're going to be doing at 9 o'clock when you meet, at 10 o'clock, who office you're going to call, what we're going to say. So we're going to be a training that I hope that Ollaa is going to put a workshop because they're going to have hundreds of people coming from different states. So what we want you guys to do is that you are all wondering like, hey, what do I say when I call Senate office or congressman? Where can I find the message? Obviously, we say that you can find that on Ollaa, but we're going to have a specially dedicated to this rally. We're going to have a workshop by our team. They're going to put it together from A to Z, how to make phone call, the initial phone call, how to do follow-up. So we're going to be doing that. And I hope young people who are out of school, college, summer is almost here. So this is a perfect time. We hope you're going to come. And if you come, you have to make sure your voice is heard, because we are confident where the direction of the US government is heading towards the election. We know where they're heading. When it comes to national dialogue, when it comes to a lot of things, we are confident where they're heading. So right now we have to change the gear, that if we do not see our self-representation, that we're going to have a problem with the situation coming up. So I urge you guys to plan for June 10th of rally in DC, and then also make sure you sign up for the workshop that we're going to give you guys. There's a lot of information that you guys don't have, that we have, that obviously we can't really share everything we know, but we actually want to give you guys a training. How do you talk to your Congress? How do you talk to your senator? What kind of phone message do you leave if they don't answer? So all of your questions will be answered. I don't know if you want to add anything to on
Yeah,
this one.
people are asking if it's June or July, so clarify
No,
that for them.
It's June 10th. The rally in Washington, D.C. is June 10th. Thank you, T.
Yes, and for those of you who are commenting saying that you guys will listen to the discussion last Friday multiple times, good for you, and make sure you share with your friends and family. Now, one thing is very clear, Sena. The people of Ethiopia deserve peace. The people of Ethiopia want peace. The people of Ethiopia have been asking for peace. And one other thing that's very clear is this current administration, Abiy's government, is incapable or unwilling. Take your pick. I don't care which one you pick. I mean, either they're incapable or they're unwilling to deliver peace for the people of Ethiopia. Now, this is not something that I'm just saying out of the thin air. Look at the facts on the ground. Look at what's going on the ground. The reason why we're having these resolutions passed, the reason why we're having these hearings, the reason why the Special Envoy to Horn of Africa is really honing on this Ethiopia issue is because Ethiopia, not too long ago, before the current administration, even when situations are bad, we had friends. The neighborhood countries are friends of Ethiopia. The US friends of Ethiopia. The European Union friends of Ethiopia. Look at it now. Who does Ethiopia has a friend? Only one friend. Only one friend that Ethiopia has now, in the region or in the world. And that's Eritrea. And the reason why Eritrea and Ethiopia are friends are because they're teaming up together to declare a war against Ethiopian citizens, and Ethiopia is allowing it. The current administration is allowing it. This is the most disgusting thing when I think about it. Every single time I think about it, how can a country allow something like this to team up with a different country to declare war on your own people? Now, the situation in Tigray is not just a specific in Tigray. This is really indication of anywhere in Ethiopia where there is a strong resistance, this will happen, and they will follow the same protocols. They will follow the same standard mode of operation, SOPs. They will follow the same blueprint in Oromia, in Benishangul, wherever there is, they can. They will follow the same blueprint. The reason is because in Tigray is because the current administration is incapable or unwilling to resolve conflicts in a very peaceful manner, or as much as possible, as peaceful as it can get. Only way they know is by the barrel of the gun. And that's how they're trying to solve all the problems. And that is one of the fundamental problems that we see with this administration. By the barrel of the gun, you cannot possibly solve every single problem that is on your way. In Oromia, it's happening. We see it. They will continue to do it. They will not stop it. This government has to be stopped. And I commend the international community for being very blunt, straightforward, straight, not sugarcoating anything. Ethiopian government, stand down. What you're doing is wrong. Stand down. And how would you tell you to stand down? We're doing the sanctions on visas. We're doing this sanction. We're taking away some funds. Ethiopia is one of the biggest recipients of aid from the US. But how are the current administration collaborative people putting this? They're saying, oh, this is, what are we missing? We're missing nothing. We're only missing their pest-infested wheat. I mean, these are the things that they're saying. They are saying things that are out of this world. So the current administration, Abiy Ahmed included all the advisors and all the cronies of the current administration, the failed administration, I might add. All of them are misguided, are unwilling, or unable to get the job done. And the job is to ensure peace and security for the Ethiopian people. And that they can't do. I'm certain of that now. There is no doubt. There is no ambiguity here. There's no if or but from me, Sena. You want to interject?
Yes,
Look like you're raising your
I want
hand.
to read something for
Yes.
I want to read something for you quickly from our Facebook. We do have only a few minutes, so I really want us to get to the other agenda, so we need to keep it short. I would like to read Muhammad Al-Hashim's comment, and the reason being, he have submitted several questions during the panel discussion, and I know this take us back, but I wanted to only comment only for the minute because we are really have a few minutes, and I want us to talk about what the visa restriction mean, what it means for Oromo people. That's what we want to talk about it. This is where we get our voice out. It is very important. Selective justice is not justice. That there will be a war, there will be instability in the region, and I'm happy to see the way the US is heading that way. So this is what Mr. Hashim said. I've watched the video on Ethiopia at the crossroad more than once. Several speakers spoke about the need for national dialogue. The problem is that there cannot be national dialogue in Ethiopia at the time while Abiy is in power. Abiy and the Amhara militia gang will continue to block any avenue to national dialogue. They desire for the Amhara dominant power over everyone else, not for dialogue. So I want you to make a comment on that, and then we'll jump to the next one, please.
Before I make the comment, I don't know who Muhammad Al Hashim is, but thank you very much. He's actually a regular participant in our dialogue. I see his comments. Last week he made a comment that I wanted to address, but I wasn't able to. So I'm happy to chime in on this one. National dialogue. There's no way around it. I mean, by any means necessary, we need to bring the current administration to a roundtable and have a national dialogue. Because what is happening right now is not working. Right now, one of the speakers on Fridays, one of they said is each ethnic group or nationalities within Ethiopia, each nationalities within Ethiopia are now feeling more alienated in Ethiopia, and more of thinking of he didn't say the word independence. I couldn't find the word that he was thinking. A lot of people are feeling alienated within Ethiopia and doesn't feel to. They're not feeling that they're part of Ethiopia, and this national dialogue will bring the core problems to the table for discussion. Now, what even the hard topics, this national federation or unitary system, or you want to say other issues that are hard to discuss within Ethiopia. Even bringing those to the table and having those discussions is very critical. So national dialogue, there's no replacement. And as Ollaa, as an organization, we've been pushing, and everywhere that we go speak, we've been asking, we've been telling that we are interested in national dialogue. Ollaa supports a national dialogue. Ollaa's been speaking about this for a very long time. Sena can speak on this even more. That we are saying national dialogue is the way to go, and Ollaa supports national dialogue 100%. And the reason being that we know the road that's being taken right now, which is a civil war, that cannot be the answer. That's for sure. We've seen it because the devastation. 4 million people are requiring aid just in Tigray region. Similar numbers, even more in Oromia. People are security is not there, so people are not secure in their life. Their daily life is being threatened, and all those things need answers. Yeah. And the thing is, the worst is yet to come, Sienna. If the national dialogue doesn't happen, and soon, there's a warning. If national dialogue doesn't happen, and soon, and this administration does not change its course, and soon, the situation in that country is going to deteriorate. Is going to get worse.
Let me catch you, T.
Please, yes.
Okay, so just for the sake of time, because we only have we already at the time.
Please, yes, go ahead.
Interview in it, so I don't want to go too much over.
Don't Sena, don't gloss over that as afterthought. There's an interview. Sena is going to be on CNN very soon after this discussion. So please tune in into CNN and support our executive director Sena. So don't cover that quickly. That's a very important point to mention.
Yes, we'll try to see if we can air on Ollaa, so stay tuned with that. But I do still want us to really take a few minutes. And when I say few minutes, I don't mean 4 minutes. I say few minutes. Talk about really I don't know if you read the statement that came out on Saturday from the Secretary of State, I believe, State Department that came out. What was your intake from the just brief reading as it is, and I'll come back and comment.
Say that one more time, because I was reading Muhammad Hashim's newest comment, so I missed it. Can you say it one more time, please?
That's fine. So I was saying that at its face value, have you had a chance to read the statement the State Department put out Saturday late night about the visa restriction and also economic and I think the defense or all kind of restriction that is they are trying to take as a first step before they go on full sanction or just the Magnitsky Act. I guess sanctioning. Have you read about it? What was your thought?
I did. Beautiful. A great start. Beautiful. It's a great start. Um, they didn't listen. About what 3-4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, the U.S. recommended and other international communities recommended for Eritrean troops to leave Ethiopia, and that hasn't happened. The European Union said we're not going to watch this election because it's not free, fair, credible, or transparent or democratic. We're not going to observe it. They didn't care. They actually doubled down. So this is a very good statement from the U.S. putting where their money where their mouth is, saying, okay, you're not going to listen. Obviously, you're wrong. Obviously, the people want something different than what you have to offer, and you are not obliged to that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit you where it hurts the most, and most of the government supporters are showing this bravado as if this sanction means nothing to Ethiopia. So that's a very good thing. Now, one of the concerns of the general public is, does this sanction hurt the people of Ethiopia, those people that live hand to mouth, and of course the effect will trickle down to not just the people that are responsible for this chaos, but also for the general public, and that's very hard to avoid. But I know some critical aids is still going to be available for the people, but really the solution is for the government to start doing the right thing and avoid whatever is going to happen to the general public. If they are there for the people, as they say, if they are there to make sure the interest of the people is well kept, as they say, then this should say to them, okay, these sanctions will actually hurt our general public, and we should do something about it. And the first thing to do is to stop the extrajudicial killings, to release prisoners, political prisoners, and to open the air. They're putting out statement about how they're free press, whatever. I don't know if you read the statements that come out from the government. They're talking about there's going to be free press like no other and things like that, blah, blah, blah. But no, we don't care about those statements if we don't see it in real life, where people are free to speak and then free to be against any party they like. So this sanction is a very good start. But more is needed, especially from Oromo people. Like we said, the June 10th rally is one of those. Oromos, after Achalu's assassination, by the way, which still has not gotten justice, still no any transparent or credible investigation done into that case. Since then, Oromos have been powerful in coming out in masses and demonstrating against all the atrocities that are happening in the country. But that has died down a little bit, and I think it's time. I know I've seen some discussions on social media. It's time to pick that up to show our support to the people on the ground.
Okay, thank you, T. I think that's good. I'll give my 2 cents, and I also wanted to do a shout out to Yasin Ibrahim, Jabat, Get In One Barbad Hasafti, Galatomi. We already know that on this show and everything that we do, we get attacked, we get hacked all the time. We both in Oromo and the other people who does that. So this is very well known. So we really don't have any concern about what these people write on a comment.
None.
It has no impact. And then I also want to thank, I saw the comment from Mr. Hashim again. Everybody's entitled to their right. So Ollaa is, we are trying to, we are not trying to, fair that we feel like that the rights of Oromo does not overshadow the right of Amhara, the right of Tigray, the right of everybody. What we are just, we are oppressed as, in that country, that we should have a right, that there is no stability, there is no peace, there is nowhere going to be a peace or if without Oromo getting a peace. the current Naftanya system, obviously, so with Amhara vision that is in power, is the old illusion, and I feel like they've gotten that. Quickly, I want to comment on the sanction that on the visa restriction that came out. I think the language speaks for itself. I'm very comfortable. I can say that I know the list we gave is included. Not everybody on the list, but people we gave is included because the same generals that was committing heinous crimes in Oromia after Hachalu's killing did the same thing in Tigray. So that the name is comfortably, I can assure you, Oromo people that those people are in the list. Shimalis was talking about about the rotten wheat that they were getting from the U.S. government. They don't even have that to talk about. They're big, and that's how they survive. And he can't even walk around in the street without getting shot because he's a criminal. And it's very unfortunate that he talks like that. But I don't expect anything different. But the important thing that I want you to put is that there's hundreds of people that watch us every morning, every Wednesday. There's thousands of people that follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. What is Oromos are doing? Like, really, I mean, it is very interesting how the conversation, I feel like we are just like, it's like, sometimes I feel like we're like a prostitute, man. We just get used by everybody. But I don't know, like, that's a hard word to say. Go ahead and take a minute and say, I personally feel like for all our watchers, what have you done for Oromo this week? What have you done for you people? For like we are number one at crying, and with all due respect, with the people like Mr. Hashim and everybody else, like if we cannot take care of our business, why are we mad at somebody else? I honestly don't get it. It's like we can't do a business for ourselves. We can speak for ourselves, but we are number one to be a soldier for somebody else. It's like, oh my God, like it's just mind-boggling to me, some of that. But anyway, I'll give you a chance to say that, and I want to urge everybody, thank you again, Jem, for thank you so much for everybody that's given us lots of nice comments. I see majority of the comments has been very supportive. We do appreciate it. So we might not call your name out all the time. We do see your comments. We appreciate them very, very much. We obviously Ollaa have lots of program. We have education, we have youth, and all kind of program. If you're interested to help your people and you want to improve, make sure you join us. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Make sure you get that, sign up on that email list, because we have all the resources like you would not find anywhere else. We speak for Oromo day and night, 7 days a week, not just in America, all the way to Europe. So we're expecting a lot of good news from Europe and a lot of places. It's rightfully, do justice, what we're looking forward to getting, that we're going to have to make sure that there is no selective justice. There can never be justice without really speaking for Oromo. There is Emmanuel Wadimum was publicly executed, and I don't see everybody talking about all the time. I'm saying that there's young Ethiopian Human Rights Commission, biased Ethiopian Human Rights Commission put out the first time report visiting 21 prison. They found children 5 months old since last July in prison. I don't see other people tweeting about that. So it's quite disappointing that we are so good at being a soldier, talking about sometimes I feel like nonsense. I'll give you the last the last word, and I wanted to say Muftaha, all of you guys, just seeing comment today. T, I'll give you the last sentence and that's it.
Yeah. So Sena, you said it beautifully, right? There's no selective justice. Now, we are against, as Ollaa, as an organization, we're against any human rights violation anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And specifically in Ethiopia, human rights violation against Amharas, human rights violation against Tigrays, human rights violation against anybody, Oromos, anybody, human rights against, we're against any human rights violation. However, the first letter of our words, Ollaa, O stands for Oromo. We are advocates, and we advocate on behalf of Oromos, and that's what Ollaa does, and that's what O stands for, the Oromo Legacy Leadership and Advocacy Association. So I'm a coach. I coach several different sports, and currently track and field. One of the things I tell my athletes, and I also tell myself, when I tell them, I also tell myself, when you go home tonight, can you look yourself in the mirror and say, I've given everything I have. I've tried what I can. Have you said that? Can you say that by looking in the mirror? Can I go home and say that as a coach? Did I look in the mirror? Can I look in the mirror and say, I have given every effort that I have, everything I can, everything possible to the sport. The same with the Oromo cause. Can we look it in the mirror? All our audiences, myself, Sena, can we go look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I've done what I can or what's possible for me at this point in time for to be a voice or to do what I need to do to take uh, part in the struggle in my capacity. And that's a question for each and every one of us to look at ourselves in the mirror and say and ask that question and get that answer. Now, you raised the issue of Emmanuel Ndimu, who was publicly executed in the Bidolo. Uh, I mean, this is not something that we'll forget ever. One of the things is I don't know how the conscience of the people that committed this crime. I don't know how their conscience allows them to live with themselves, right? I don't know how, but at this point, I don't care. What I care at this point is that the fact that they need to be brought to justice. And there's a lot of Emmanuel Wendimus. It might not be public execution like he suffered, but extrajudicial killings in the country is rampant. Government-sanctioned killings in all regions are rampant. People must be accountable, be brought to justice, and questioned. And as Advocacy Association, we will be talking about accountability. We'll be talking about the voice of the unheard voices. Somebody said, don't call them voiceless. They're not voiceless. They have voices. Their voice is not heard. So we'll speak on behalf of those voices that are not heard. We'll keep speaking. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Sena and all the team for doing an amazing job by talking to other people, bringing friends to Oromos. It makes me happy when Congresswoman Kelly talks about, good job, Ollaa, for what you've been doing. We're friends now. When senators put on a Twitter and say, great job, Ollaa, what you guys are doing is critical because you are bringing attention to something that deserves attention. And it makes me happy when I see letters from 5 senators to a special envoy to Horn of Africa, and it says there is atrocity being committed in Oromia. And I mean, this is some things that has been it's been quite hush hush. People say things that's happening in Tigray and blanket everything else and not even call what's happening in Oromia by name. That is changing, and it's going to even change more. And that is the effort of Ollaa and other advocacy organizations. Good job, great job. Keep doing what you're doing because it's changing. The plight of Oromos is being heard by others, is being heard by friends. We are making friends. We are telling our story. I'm not going to tell it now, but I tell a story of how powerful storytelling is. To tell our own story in the right frame is very critical, because one of the things that we want the story of these people, the Emmanuel Wendimus, the 5 kids in Nakamte town that they were brought out of their house and killed. And you go to other areas of Oromia, they're young people that we are hoping to be our futures, are being killed for no reason other than being Oromo. And those story has to be told. And great job, Ollaa. Great job as the leader of Ollaa. Great job, Sena. And great job all other advocacy organizations. It's very critical that what we're doing is amazing. And before I finish, after this program, Sena will be, hopefully this program will be CNN interview will be broadcasted on Ollaa Facebook. You guys can come back on the Facebook, Ollaa Facebook, and watch it. And this is just another way of letting the world know that Oromo lives, Oromo livelihood matter, and we ought to advocate for it. And everything we're speaking here, fact. So we're ready to
Thank
go.
you so much.
Yes.
All right. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye, everyone.